Listening Section Directions. The listening section of the TOEFL IBT test measures your ability to understand conversations and lectures in English. In an actual test, the listening section is divided into 2 or 3 separately timed parts. In each part, you will listen to 1 conversation and 1 or 2 lectures. You will hear each conversation and lecture only 1 time. After each conversation or lecture, you will answer some questions about it. Answer the questions based on what is stated or implied by the speakers. In an actual test, a clock that is provided shows you how much time remains. The clock does not count down while you are listening. The clock counts down only while you are answering questions. For this practice test, a useful guideline is to spend no more than 35 seconds to answer a question. You may take notes while you listen. You may use your notes to help you answer the questions. Your notes will not be scored. In some questions, you will see this icon. This means that you will hear but not see part of the question. Some of the questions have special directions. These directions will appear in a gray box on the screen. Most questions are worth 1 point. If a question is worth more than 1 point, it will have special directions that indicate how many points you can receive. You must answer each question. After you answer, select Next. Then select OK to confirm your answer and go on to the next question. After you select OK, you cannot return to the previous questions. You can select Review at any time, and the review screen will show you which questions you have answered correctly or incorrectly and which you have not answered. From this review screen, you can go directly to any question you have already seen in the listening section. Select Continue to go on.
Directions. In this question, you will be asked to give your explanation about the topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare your response and 45 seconds to ask. Some people prefer to attend live music performances. Others prefer to stay at home and watch them on TV. Which do you think is better and why?
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
Directions. In this question, you will read a short passage about a campus situation and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak.
Now listen to two students' discussion.
I got an email from Professor Thompson today. Apparently, instead of a final exam, we're going to have to do a group presentation.
I know, and I'm not overjoyed by it, to say the least.
But isn't it better than an exam? What's more, we have 2 weeks to prepare for it.
Still, group projects can be difficult. I heard from my roommate that she's been having trouble with the group projects for one of her classes. See, the problem is that her partner doesn't show up when they are supposed to meet and prepare. And what that means is that my roommate gets stuck with most of the work, and she can't finish it all by herself.
Maybe she just got a bad partner. I mean, surely she can tell her professor what's going on.
That's not the only thing, though. We already have so much work to do, studying for exams, going to class, this and that. It's going to be really frustrating to balance all that and set aside a time to meet with our partners for a group assignment. I mean, students are already busy as it is, and preparing for a group presentation takes a lot more time than studying for a final exam.
Yeah, it does seem like it will require a lot of effort.
The woman expresses her opinion of the announcement made by the university. State their opinion and explain the reasons she gives for that opinion.
Please begin speaking after the beep.
Directions. In this question, you will read a short passage on an academic subject and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak.
Many gulls feed on shellfish. They gather scallops, mussels, and other from shallow water and then fly up with the shellfish in their claws. Then they drop the shell, which smashes against the rocks, revealing its flesh. Well, it sounds quite simple, but it's a calculated process, and the gulls use a couple of methods to save energy while doing it. Okay, first of all, a gull chooses the largest available shellfish from the very beginning. By doing this, the gull maximizes the chance that it will be able to eat a large chunk of meat when it cracks the shell open. And if the gull gets more meat per attempt, then the bird limits the number of trips it takes to satisfy its appetite. And of course, less hunting means less energy consumption. Secondly, the gulls know precisely how high they need to fly in order to make a successful drop. For a big scallop, this might be around 15 feet or so, but anyway, the birds know. So why is this height important? Well, if the gull flies higher than it needs to, then it is wasting energy. But if it doesn't fly high enough, there's a chance the shell will stay intact. And if that happens, the gull would have to grab the shell and fly up all over again. The professor describes the behavior of gulls. Describe how this behavior sheds light on energy efficiency in animals.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
In this question, you will listen to part of a lecture. You will then be asked a question about what you have heard. Your response will be scored on your ability to speak clearly and coherently and on your ability to accurately convey information about what you heard. You will have 20 seconds to prepare and 60 seconds to respond.
Last time we explored the characteristics typically associated with communities, so now we will go into more detail regarding the types of communities that exist. Specifically, we're going to discuss communities of interest and communities of action. Each type has a particular function and way of operating. First off, we have communities of interest. For example, a community of web designers may get together to discuss their field of work, individual experiences, and practical knowledge. I'd like to point out that the members of such communities share something in common, usually a profession or interest. They seek to inform one another of their individual knowledge and expertise, strengthening the community as a whole. They may create a website in which each member provides advice and tutorials. And they might gather regularly to discuss up-to-date techniques and trends in the market. And next, there are communities of action. A good example of this is a local organization that publishes a monthly newsletter. In this organization, each person has a specifically designated role and each member provides an important function to the others. Specifically, the organization will assign one member to writing, one to editing, one to distribution, one to advertising, and so on. By splitting up the tasks and working together, the community can serve the function of publishing a newsletter, which the members wouldn't be able to do individually. As a result, the community is strengthened through the division of labor and tasks.
Using points and examples from the talk, describe two types of communities.
Please begin speaking after the beep.